Ho, ho, ho.
What's up, everybody? Here we go, dude.
All right. Oh, nice.
My little desk Christmas tree.
I love it. Little glass.
I love these old things. This is
Oh,
my
yeah.
Grandma Churchill.
Yep. Oh, I have one
Got
for
it.
my grandma too. It
Yep,
rules.
totally.
Awesome. Cool. Let's
All
do
right,
it.
let's do it. Here we go. Ready?
Yep.
All right. One, two, three, click. One, two, three, clap.
One, two, three, clap.
Clap.
Great.
Sweet.
You're listening to Overcoming Runner's Block, a pod, a Two Gomers podcast about regular people chasing big goals, facing their excuses and barriers, and inviting a nation along for the run. This is our first one word special for January 2023.
Welcome, everybody, to the first one word special of 2023. This is Anthony speaking, one of those two aforementioned Gomers coming to you from Atlanta, Georgia, with my friend Steven, all the way out in Flagstaff, Arizona.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, dude.
That New Year's baby. You know that like that old man, old year, and then New Year's baby. Do you know what I'm talking about?
No.
It's like the Santa of New Year's.
Oh, like Santa baby.
No,
That's that
Not Santa baby.
New Year's baby.
Like the 2022 is represented by a super old guy with a long white beard in a
Got it.
robe, and then
hmm
2023 is like a little baby.
I see. Okay, because I mean, as of recording, we're in that old man state,
Right.
right?
Yep.
Because it's
The year
actually
is
not, we're,
old.
yeah. Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, the year. So in the new year, the year is young. Like the day is young, the night is young, right? Like that.
Right, but it's like the Easter bunny or
Oh, okay.
a leprechaun. It's like a
Okay.
mystical
N-
supernatural thing
Okay.
like Santa.
Sure. Okay. I've never heard of it, but sounds great.
It is great.
Sounds cool. It's probably a
Well,
thing.
yeah, you're right. The people are listening to this in the new year,
hmm
new baby,
hmm
new baby new year, and we are in 2022, old man 2022 recording it.
Yep.
Sometimes we like to get a jump on these one word apps.
Totally. We usually do actually, although sometimes we've recorded them in like March.
Right.
So we're
Yeah, there was that
way
one year.
ahead. Yeah.
Yep.
But I it's just weird to see 2023 on the docket
Mm-hmm.
because
Yeah.
2020 was the
Yuck.
beginning of just yuck. Yeah.
Yep.
But it's like we're really getting into these 2020s, you know?
Yep. Yeah. 2030 is coming. That'll be weird.
Wow.
Is it, like what is it, the 20s, the in
The
the
roaring
1920s,
20s.
what were they called? The roaring, right?
Yeah.
Have people come
They're
up
going to
with a
call
term yet for
these.
the 2020s?
I mean, you think about the age of anxiety, in
Uh-huh.
the early
Yep.
aught or of the 20th century. So I don't know if this is the age of anxiety of the 21st century. I don't know.
Maybe the
Or the
anxious
age,
20s. How about that?
sure, the age of distraction,
Mm-hmm.
the age of confusion, the age of truth, just like, I don't know,
Yeah. Well,
being
who
X'd out. I don't know,
well
the
if
age of
somebody knows what
relativism,
the
or I don't
yeah,
know.
I know. If somebody knows what the 20s are called, we want to know.
Hmm.
By the way, me talking about New Year's baby was kind of like you talking about trypophobia,
Oh, yeah.
where I just had
Oh,
no idea what you meant. A new
okay.
a new idea.
Did you look it up?
Oh yeah,
Is it a thing?
I looked it up while we were recording
Oh,
the
no, no,
app.
no. New Year's baby.
Oh, I'll look up New Year's baby. Good call. The image
That's what.
searches probably will not be as disturbing as
Oh,
trypophobia.
we had a number of people write in, DM, email, and text about that. So
Right.
it is a thing.
Yep.
New Year's baby.
The New Year's baby is certainly a thing. I'm seeing it all over the place.
Oh, okay. That's just me.
Christmas Rudolph, and he appears in Rudolph Shiny New Year, but he's also a thing beyond that. Um,
Okay.
oh, and I know where in Holiday Inn they have the New Year's baby.
Oh, okay. Well, we haven't watched that yet this year.
Okay. Um, the New Year's the baby New Year is a personification of the start of the new year, commonly seen in editorial cartoons.
Hmm.
Oh, okay. It's probably a New Yorker thing.
Interesting. Okay.
He
So it's
symbolizes
for
the birth of the new year and the passing of the prior year. In other words, a rebirth, which is kind of the one word thing that we do.
totally. Oh, I'm into it. I'm into
Yeah.
it, even though it does sound like one of those liberal elite East Coast.
Wait a minute. Because just because I know who the New Year's baby is, I'm an elitist. Well, I'll take it. I receive it then.
If being an elitist means I know about the New Year baby, then yes.
Then call me Miles Davis. All right. So one word
Wait,
special. You said before we
dude,
started that what?
hold on. Um, I spilled on my pants like last week.
Yes.
Uh, and like we were in church.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
And so I thought about that. I was like, if I have to, like, it was just on my right front pocket.
Yep.
It was 100%, Miles Davis.
Right.
If people don't know what we're talking about, watch Billy Madison. But
Yeah. I was just
speaking of
wondering,
pants,
as you were telling that story,
yeah.
if people haven't seen Billy Madison, if
Mm-hmm.
they would have had any idea or still
Mm-hmm.
do have any idea why you told me a story about spilling stuff on your pants.
Uh-huh. Well,
But let's not say it. People have to watch Billy Madison to understand.
great. Okay. Darn near perfect. Billy Madison, Happy Gilmore, canon
Yep.
movies for us.
Um, you said before we started recording that you have a holiday update. Now, is
Mm.
it a Christmas update? Because we are
It's
releasing this in New Year's on January 7th, I think.
okay.
People might
No,
still be in the mood.
it's running related, but it's not Christmas. It's Thanksgiving.
Okay. All right, let's hear it. I want to hear it because there's no way you'll
Okay.
ever say it again. You might as well say it
Right.
now. Okay.
So I forgot to mention on the Thanksgiving or the turkey trot in
Mm-hmm.
review, which
Yeah.
we're doing so few, like we're like hitting them boom, 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 boom. So like
Right.
I forgot to talk about it, and there's no other place to talk about it. And I forgot to mention this, and it could have been a runner's block episode of its own, and maybe we'll do it one day if we ever need
Right.
content.
Mm-hmm.
But I woke up on Thanksgiving and my nose was running so bad, dude.
Okay.
Like not COVID, nothing like that. Just
Okay.
like a runny nose, you know what I mean?
Sure.
And so that entire like I almost couldn't go to the turkey trot. It was running so bad. And
Wait.
I was like,
So were you sick or was it just the
no, it
symptom?
was just like a runny nose,
Symptom is that
really bad.
that might be
No.
yeah, so just the runny nose. You weren't sick.
Mm-hmm. Nope.
Okay.
Just a runny nose. And like we had so many jokes like, you're like my nose is running so I can't run,
Yeah, yeah, pretty good. I
or
like that.
you know like so I do think there could be a runner's block, like my nose is running or
Well, we
something.
did on the spring app.
Oh
I
yeah.
talked about allergies and I talked all about runny noses.
It could have been we actually thought about it because just the day before we had gotten our Christmas tree and we had
Mm-hmm.
all this pine stuff in here.
Mm,
So we actually
yes.
were thinking, is it an allergy?
Okay.
And so I did one of those hard resets where I was like, maybe if I take a shower.
Okay.
You know how sometimes if you're feeling just kind of you take a
Yep.
shower, it's like this baptism, right? Death to life.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
You're washed
You
clean.
emerge ready to run. Yep.
Mm-hmm. My my nose was running in the shower super bad.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Then I got out, super bad, and then on the run, super bad.
Really?
Like I think I wore my Wisconsin hoodie or something like that, and
Yeah.
the sleeve. Sorry to be gross, but the sleeve was just lots of snot. You know
So
what I mean?
you didn't follow my tip on the spring episode, which was to bring Kleenex with you when you have a
Well,
runny
I
nose, or
did.
did
I
you?
had a
Okay.
hoodie and I had tons of Kleenex in the pocket. So yeah, but even in between Kleenexes, you're like,
Right. Yeah.
just like the little wipes you do,
Yep. Yeah. Well,
but pushed through the pain
wow.
and crushed it. I just forgot to mention that because we had so much to talk about on the Thanksgiving episode.
Speaking of runny noses, can I just give a shout out to the mom who runs
Mm-hmm.
with her baby in a stroller past my window every morning?
Yep.
A couple days ago, stopped right in front of the house and performed this farmer's blow
Mm.
that knocked my socks off. Just incredible. So
Incredible.
apparently she had a runny nose. It was 9 degrees when I ran this morning. So it's cold
Wow.
here. So lots
Yeah.
of running noses around
Sure.
here. But it was just like she's a very put together woman with a
Yep.
very expensive stroller and a cute baby, just
Yep.
shamelessly snotting all over our front yard and then just continuing on. So great
And then just
job,
continue.
mom lady that
Good,
runs by my window.
good job. I do wonder that, like when you're out running
Mm-hmm.
and you're in front of other people's houses, you're out. You know what I mean? Like but you're in somebody else's place. You know
Yep.
what I mean? So like
Mm-hmm.
you're like, well, I'm not farmer blowing at home. Or like, remember that lady that used to there was that viral video for a long time, the lady that always went to the bathroom behind that one place. There was a dumpster, and it was
I
like
don't.
every
That
day
sounds
or
awesome.
every couple days this lady would duck behind the same spot, and it kept getting caught on camera.
Ooh, wow, love it.
Uh yeah,
I mean, I
so
don't love that she did that, but I like that it was caught on camera. That's funny.
right. But you're out. So do you okay, if you have like a like okay, if you're walking with Chewy
Yeah.
and or I'm walking with Indy or running and you have you gather the poop,
Yep. Yep.
do you what's your position on throwing that away in
Oh boy.
somebody else's dumpster?
Oh boy.
Oh boy, am I calling you out here?
True Gomer confessions.
Yeah.
Um, no qualms.
Wow.
I'm
Okay.
throwing that poop in other people's garbage cans.
Wow.
And I'll tell you why.
Hmm.
Because people do it into our garbage cans.
Okay, you're 100% right about the second part because I see it happen
Yep.
and I kind of get a little mad about it, but then I'm like, who cares? It's garbage.
Right.
But I never throw away dog poop,
Wow.
fast food
Wow.
bags. Like I feel bad. Like I'm like, I get it's garbage. Like I guess that's what I'm asking is like, at what point does it become corporate garbage? Like for
Uh,
when
for,
it's
for
in
me,
your
it's
garbage can, it's
yep.
your garbage.
Yeah. I would
You know?
say if it's on the curb, dang it, there's
Mm,
no rhyme here. Like it's if it's on the curb, you can throw away your herbs or dog
okay.
poop
What
into it.
if
That
it's
is public. That's public. It's gonna go, especially I don't go into other people's driveways and throw away my poop bags into their garbage that's like up close to their house. You know what I mean?
mm,
But if it's rolled out to the curb, I gingerly place that bag on top of all the rest of their garbage. Who cares?
okay. How about if it's on the curb, throw away the turd?
Yay, you did it.
Or
Sort of a
some
sideways rhyme, but I will take it.
what about perturbed?
Yeah, if it's on the curb, I'm not perturbed.
There we go. Okay.
Throw it away in that. That is a great question, and I'm sure it's probably divisive.
Yeah, see, I don't do it be but like I have thought about the guilt of it. It's like, why? If it's on the curb, throw away the turd.
Here's the other reason I don't care is because I don't care when people do it in our garbage, and I don't care if I'm doing it in other people's garbage because it is so much worse to just leave it.
Definitely. Yeah, I would not do that.
Never. But
No, no,
there
no.
are a lot of
Absolutely.
people in our neighborhood that do. And
Yeah,
so
see, that's
I'm
gross.
like,
And yeah,
if I'm doing this step, nobody should be complaining about this.
got it.
I'm
It's
keeping the
yep.
neighborhood clean.
Okay, that's cool. Yeah, there was That's come up on our like neighborhood Facebook page, which I'm actually not a part of, but I have
Mm.
heard. Actually, I think I'm on it, but I've never checked it.
Okay.
It's like Santa's coming through, or these
Uh-huh.
things. This is happening at the pool this weekend,
Yep.
but somebody has written many times about
Oh yeah.
this in lawns. Yeah.
Next door app. Do you know what that is?
Yep.
It's like a social media just for neighborhoods, and I would say 50% is dog poop related.
Okay.
Please don't let your dog poop in my yard.
Got it.
So much chatter about that.
Yeah, it's gross. I
Yep.
am curious though what people think about this. Actually, if you have
Yeah.
thoughts on this.
Yeah. Let us know. Uh, follow us on Instagram and go to our link tree. Email us directly to gomers@gmail.com. We want to know. Maybe we should have Annie put a survey out there in the new
Yeah.
year. Yep.
What do you
All
think
right.
about other people's garbage cans?
Right. Speaking of the new year, one words. It's my turn.
Yep.
Every year we pick one word for each of us instead of a
Mm-hmm.
list of New Year's resolutions, which I still have.
Right.
Um, we started this tradition 11 years ago, 12 years ago now, I think,
Yep.
where we each pick one word that will define and guide our upcoming year. So it's my turn this week.
Oh, man, I am so excited about this. Like, we have a shared note where we have each other's notes.
Right.
I have not looked at it
Well,
because
do you know
I'm
do you know
afraid.
my
Like, I don't
secret
want
about the
to.
notes?
Sure.
That I'll write it in,
Mm-hmm.
but if I don't want you to see it, I'll change the color to white.
Okay, I don't want to look at it right
It
now.
it, it does it don't do it right now, but I'm just telling you, if you see like a big blank under something on the notes,
Yeah.
there actually is text there, but it's white.
Oh, cool.
So I'll take the note, but hide it from you by changing the color so you don't get spoiled.
Cool. Okay, good. Well, I didn't look at our notes today for
Okay.
this episode because I was afraid of it getting spoiled. So from now on, I'll know that you're doing that.
Yep. I'm very
And
I'm I'm very caring and careful in that way. I don't want to
yeah,
spoil. No one likes to be spoiled.
no way, dude.
Yep. All right. So why don't we head right into the one word?
All right, let's do it. Okay,
Sweet.
let's clap and keep going.
Mm-hmm.
1, 2, 3, clap,
1, 2, 3, clap.
clap. The reason I do that is because sometimes you go beatly bottly,
Oh, really?
and like if you look, like if you do this, a lot of
Mm-hmm.
times when we get to this point on an episode, if we do it again, it's off by a half second to a second.
Yeah. Yep.
So,
Yeah.
all right,
No, that's great.
I'm super stoked. You ready?
Yep.
All right, and I'm craving this so bad.
Sweet.
Sorry, Adam. We did not do good.
2023 now. Anyway, so
Okay. Hey, how's it going, bro? I cannot wait to hear your word. But first, I'm going to have this delicious Coke.
yeah, it's a new year. He's cracking a Coke.
Uh-huh.
Now I can tell that that's a little guy.
Yeah, what is this? The 8? No,
8 ounce?
7.5.
Oh, 7.5.
Only 90 calories. Wow, I haven't had a Coke in so long. I don't know. It's Christmas. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Wait. It's the
It's
new
New
year.
Year.
And that is so rich and sweet. Jeez.
Oh man, I love a Coke. Hmm. All right, one word. This we this is an Oprah thing. I can never
Yes.
remember. Okay.
Well, no, it's one of those things where somebody like Brene Brown brought it to Oprah. I don't think it was
Okay,
Oprah's idea.
got it. Yep. Um,
And Stephen
but
Furtick did it for a long time. Like
okay.
I heard it there too. I mean, I
Uh-huh.
think it's just it was probably in a book, maybe,
Sure. Yep.
that went viral, and then yeah,
And I'm sure the concept of reducing something down to one word for your year is probably has been thought of over and over again. We just
sure,
really love it. We just attached to it,
love it.
right?
Yes.
Um, one of the reasons I love it is because we get to look back on the year and say, hey, that was my word from last year. Here's how it went.
Mhm.
And then we get to start. What I do is I spend a couple weeks thinking about it before I settle on one. And I will tell you right now, I don't know if this
Yep.
has happened to me before. I am between two right now still.
Even as we speak.
I am
Oh, wow.
split evenly, I think, between these two. And so we're going to cast lots during this recording, and I'm going to pick one.
Okay.
Because I don't know if it's ever like this for you. You get a couple and you're like, at some point during the day, you're like, it's 100% that.
Mm-hmm.
And then something else happens and you're like, nope, it's that one.
Yep.
And I feel like I've been waffling between the two. Uh,
Got it.
and I feel comfortable saying it could be either one of these, and I would fully embrace it.
Okay. Oh,
Um,
man.
so we'll do that in a little bit. First, I just want to do a little 2022 in review on my word. Um,
Okay.
uh, do you remember what it was?
Settle. I
Yep.
remember because Jessica laughed super hard at
Yep.
it.
Settle. And it was not the settle. Well, it was in some ways the settle that people think it is, but it's not like I'm settling for something, right? It was
Yes,
much more
it's like
nuanced than that.
it wasn't settle like, well, I guess this is it. I'll
Yep,
just settle.
exactly.
Yeah.
Um, so the specific things that I was talking about was I wanted to settle my stomach.
Oh yeah, right.
And so the commitment was a lot less cow stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Dairy, bro, that is just out besides cheese in my life.
Right.
And cheese once a week on pizza.
Right.
I don't do cheeseburgers anymore.
I mean that after pizza, that's just makes me so sad, dude. Because to
Yeah.
me, a burger isn't a burger without cheese.
Okay, I have learned to really love it. Um and well, you know what? I take it back. I can't do a Big Mac without the one slice.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Something about that one, but I actually find that I can taste the beef, and we'll get back to that, better
yeah,
without the cheese on it. Um,
yeah. I get it.
so dairy stuff is very much kind of not a part of my life anymore. I talked about not milk uh on the Gomer's favorite things episode. I'm finding new ways to enjoy my life without dairy. Beef
Yes.
was the one that I was gonna work hard on this
Right.
past year. Um, I did okay with that. I would say I did beef once a week,
Okay. That's
maybe
not
a little
bad.
more. Let's see, how many weeks are in the year? 52.
Mm-hmm.
I'd say 70 times.
Okay. Yeah.
Um, but worked hard to eradicate that from the diet, eat different meats, eat no meats at all. Um, and I have noticed a significant settling in my stomach. I think there's one key thing that I need to figure out this coming year, and that's sugar. Is
Mm.
the later in the day I eat sugar, the more I struggle through the night to not. I mean, this is a little gross to not continually wake Jessica up with my horrific farts.
Because of sugar? Really?
Yep, yep.
Huh.
So my stomach has been not responding well to that in particular. Last night,
I'm sorry.
she was woken violently up and she just goes, disgusting.
I'm sorry, dude.
Oh boy. So I got to take care of that.
Oh.
But I've made two steps forward, one step back. I don't know with the settling my stomach thing. Um
Right.
the other thing was settling into our house.
Yeah.
And I did listen back to the one word episode, and I just had no freaking idea.
Right.
We had moved in by then. We had lived in our house for 6 months, and I was feeling like in that episode we're over the hump.
Yeah.
We can now settle into our house, and then January we had the leak and everything blew up. So,
Uh-huh.
um, to a certain extent, that's been very difficult to do. Um, and to another extent, I was thinking about this yesterday. Um, I think working all of the hard work I did on this house has helped me settle into it to a certain extent.
Mm-hmm.
And I talked on last year's episode about how settling was like grounding, getting low, and I did a lot of work on this house on my knees and on my stomach and on my back.
Huh?
And so
Yeah.
there was some sort of connection that happened. I don't know if this is dumb or whatever, but I do feel like I'm connected to this house differently. I don't know that we have settled into it the way I hoped we would. We're going to
Right.
try again in 2023, I suppose, but it just caused us so much turmoil. It's hard to settle into that.
Yeah. Has we talked also about the ground, how it settles,
Yep.
right? How that's kind of like how sounds like, remember on Curb Your Enthusiasm?
Mm-hmm.
Like he's like, "What was that?" And she's like, "It's just a house sound."
Right.
And he's like, "What's a house sound?" Right? Like that's it
Mm-hmm.
settling.
Yep. I think the house itself has been rebelling, not settling. It's been like trying to oust us, it feels like. So
Yeah.
I think the house is settled. It's my age, almost 45 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I'm not surprised that Larry David's houses are settling. The new mansions that he moves into. This one is settled, and now it's like maybe I'm done with humans living in me.
Yeah. Just like leave me be.
Right? Just let me die. Um, so we have spent a lot of time thinking about and caring for and fixing and repairing and remodeling the house. I just don't think it was the settling that I had hoped for. Um,
Right.
and then the third thing was settling into my faith. I think that has my kind of new, not new. I explained it. If people want to hear about that more, they can listen to last year's episode. But just kind of who I am now in my relationship with God and with other people and ministry. And I do feel like that has continued this year and will continue into next year. So, um,
Would would you say like year over year, this like right now you feel better about your relationship with God than you did a year ago?
yeah,
I think
yep,
so too. I like
yeah,
just from my observation.
yep, I do. The I think some of the things I was saying last year was that I'm settling into kind of like a quieter, gentler, kinder, more open to others and to God faith. Um,
Nice.
and so I think that that has continued this year,
Awesome.
amidst all the stuff.
Yeah.
So that feels good. The other thing I talked about on the episode, I think maybe I didn't, was that I was going to run 3 half marathons this year. That didn't happen because I got COVID
Right.
right in August when I had my third half marathon
Yep.
scheduled. But and this is an announcement I don't think I've maybe I've told you. I certainly haven't said on the podcast. I am running a half marathon in January,
Phoenix.
a week from when people are hearing this.
Nice.
So I've been training for that for the past 2 months. I'm running that, and that technically will be within 365 days of the
Oh
one
yeah, great.
last year. So I did run 3 in 365 days, just not in 2022.
So
Or I will
here's the
have.
question. Here's the question then. Like let's say
Yeah.
you want to run 3 in 2023, but you
Mm-hmm.
count that
Oh,
one as part of your
I didn't
2020.
think of that. Shoot.
Like can you count it in both?
I mean, I
I'm
can.
just kidding.
Will I? Should I? Those are other questions. But yeah, you're right. I think,
No, I'm kidding.
oh man, no, that you're totally right. I probably will count it for both.
Yeah, yeah. Also, like we've said a million times and we've discovered like who gives a rip? Who are you
Right.
trying to impress?
Right. I make the rules about that stuff, so I
Yeah.
don't care.
You did
Um,
it 3 times within 365 days and 3 times in 2023.
yes. Those two things can coexist
Mhm.
and be true at the same time.
Yeah.
Great.
Nice.
Okay, good. I feel good about that. Um, running was great in 2022. I think I'm going to hit 600 miles. So yeah, but kind of my health goals, I hit pretty well. And I feel pretty good about the year. This is a weird year in a lot of ways. I think it was a better year for me than 2021, which really sucked. And 2020, I can't even remember if it was good or bad, and so many complicated things. So 2022 was okay, a solid okay.
Okay. I think we said last year that 2021 was worse than 2020.
I I would hold to that still, I think.
Yeah. Yep.
Yep. Okay. 2023, like I said, I have two words. Okay, you ready? So
Uh-huh.
we're gonna randomize this.
Okay.
Um, okay. A Christmas randomization, even though it's not Christmas anymore. Red and green, which is your favorite color or preferred color, red or green?
Ooh, green.
Okay. All right. Okay, good. I'm happy about this. I would have been happy about the other one. I'm happy about this.
Look at my phone, dude. I got the green one. I love it.
Ooh, that's not a case. That's the actual phone.
Well, it's in a case, but yeah, the phone itself is green and gorgeous. Whoa,
And look at
we look at
this.
us, dude.
Yep, I've
Christmas
got a red
phones.
one. Yep.
What?
Wow.
That kind of rules.
I always got to throw Bono some of my cash. So I always get the
Yeah.
red phone.
Also, I discovered there's some green in my eyes, and apparently, I look pretty good in green,
Oh, who told you
even though
that? I mean,
I
I
favor
believe you
blue.
and I agree. But who
I
told you that you
favor
look?
blue,
Yeah.
but
Where did you hear this green
apparently,
news from?
I can't remember.
Okay.
But I was like, oh, that actually, maybe I was getting my hair cut and I had a green shirt,
Mm-hmm.
but I kind of love army green and camo and
Sure.
over the last few years.
2023, maybe that's the year of green for you.
Sweet. Ooh, that'll be my color. Or I mean, not my color, my word.
Okay, good. Green. I
I
mean,
have I have
you
my
can make
words
that
written
work,
down.
right? Green could
Well, I
work.
have my possibilities like right there.
He's waving it at
If you
me.
if you pause that and I just put green down there. I'm gonna
Okay,
eat
sweet.
more greens.
Growth. Okay, so
Yeah.
speaking of that, the word that I didn't choose then, I'll just my honorary mention, I think is more provocative word. And you'll see that when I tell you what my real word is.
Wait,
I
was
was
that
thinking,
the casting of lots? Did we
yeah,
just
that was
cast
it.
lots?
Yep.
Oh, geez, dude,
I
I thought you were gonna say which one was first, and then we were gonna cast lots. Oh, geez,
Nope. I wrote green over one and red over the other and had you
was
pick
just
the color.
live ammunition here, dude. Like on the West Wing. Oh my gosh. Okay.
The word that's under red that I didn't choose is bloom. I was thinking about the word
Ooh.
bloom.
Mm-hmm.
Um, because I always like a sequel to my previous word. I don't always like it, but
Right.
sometimes I have done that. Um, and bloom, like I wanted to settle, get grounded, even plant myself. And
Sure.
bloom felt like a cool sequel for
Like that.
2023. Um, and it comes out of basically just comes out of a prayer I've been praying through the fall every day, which is let the seeds that have been planted bloom, has been my theme in the fall.
I love it. Yeah.
So in the seeds that I planted in my boys, ministry stuff, finances, relationships, personal growth, I've let it kind of it all I can do is plant seeds. The blooming is natural or God ordained. And
Yep.
so that's because I've said it so often in the second half of this year. I was like, maybe that's my word. And it's
Yeah.
probably my secret word. You and I have talked about this before. We also have
Yeah.
secret words that we don't tell anybody else.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
So blue might be my actual secret word. But here's my word. Um, so I was looking for a word that would bring me joy this coming year.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I have a full difficult year coming up in 2023. Throat surgery, happening 2 weeks from when people are hearing this. Upped responsibility with ministry, still getting used to Noah being gone. Just a bunch of stuff coming up, full and hard.
Yeah.
And so I was just kind of thinking, like, wouldn't it be nice to have a word that I can latch onto that isn't like, just work, you idiot, something like that. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
what if I chose a word that if I engaged in it every day, it would make me happy? So
Mm.
I was thinking about the fact that love is my life word. And I love that,
Yeah.
obviously. That brings me a lot of joy to do. And then I was just thinking about my top love language, which is kind of a 90s thing. I know the five love languages. I can't remember who wrote that book, but like
Dude,
it,
it's very popular now. And actually, just like the Enneagram, it
yeah,
has jumped from Christian circles to all circles,
yep.
like or
I
to
think you're
anywhere.
right.
Like so, I think it's just like the Enneagram found a resurgence.
Yep.
So it was '90s evangelical, right?
Gary Chapman is the guy that wrote the book on the five love languages.
Okay.
Um, and I'm trying to figure out when that was. 92. So
Yeah,
that's
there
why I
you go.
remember it being big in the 90s. The
Yep.
Enneagram is this ancient spiritual,
Right.
like,
Totally.
but I take your point and agree with it completely that
Yeah.
um what started in kind of these spiritual circles gets popularized. Enneagram, I feel like, is the five love languages now of the, but I don't know. Do you feel like love languages are coming back?
Well, I say that because I was in a DEI training yesterday.
What's that?
Uh, Here, wait, cut
Okay.
that.
All right.
Sorry, sorry, YouTube. It's not bad. I just don't want to talk about that here.
Okay.
Um, I say that because I was in a training yesterday,
Uh-huh.
and it was in a totally different environment,
Right.
and five love languages was brought up
Okay, interesting.
yesterday. So,
Wow. All right. Well, there you go. Um, so the and I could just tell the five love languages are words of affirmation. This is how you not only receive but love to give love.
yep,
You experience a lot of joy doing these things for other people, and also you really long for it yourself, and you feel loved when someone else does it to you.
yes, oh yeah. Oh, let's talk about this. I love this. Okay.
So that's why it's helpful to know other people's love languages, because you can knock yourself out trying to do something that you think is loving and it doesn't connect with them. And so it's
Totally.
also a nice tool to kind of grow in your empathy and get out of yourself a little bit.
Yeah, it's got
Um,
Enneagram vibes with that for
oh
sure.
yeah, and same with the Myers-Briggs. It's not
Mm-hmm.
just so that you can friggin' know who you are and make excuses for your bad behavior. It's so you can
Right.
grow in that and understand other people and how to function in society.
Yes, absolutely. So it's know
Um,
thyself, get
right.
better, grow in empathy
Yes.
and love.
Um, so the five are words of affirmation, or like giving compliments or telling people that they're great and why, right?
Yep.
That's the first one. Quality time, spending time with people. Receiving and giving gifts is
Yep.
the third one. Acts of service is the fourth one, and physical touch, fifth.
Yep. Oh,
Now,
basic.
you know my fifth, right?
I know your fifth is physical touch.
Way
Sounds
down there.
weird that I know that, but Steven's not a toucher. He's not a hugger,
Now,
right? Like,
I'm going to tell a story a little bit where something shocking to me happened.
okay.
Um, my number one is gift giving and receiving.
Right.
Um, I love to think hard about giving people gifts that are
Yeah.
personalized. I love creating them if I can. And if somebody gives me a well thought out gift, I'm like, they know and love me.
Yes.
So um, I was just like, I love doing that.
Mm-hmm.
What if I just pursued that more in 2023?
Mm-hmm. So you would be a great philanthropist. So everybody give Steven $1 billion. So he can just
when I was in high school and college,
yeah.
I used to pray, or I used to tell God, "You can trust me. Just make me a
Mm.
billionaire, and I
Hmm.
will give it all away." And I still actually kind of think that about myself.
I
Um,
believe you totally.
uh, it never happened. He probably knows me better than that.
He's like,
Um,
no. He's like, no, you wouldn't. Trust me.
right. It has been interesting to have this as my top love language and not be wealthy.
Mm-hmm.
I actually think that it is richer, honestly, richer. It is richer when you can't just do this willy nilly, when it
Yep.
takes a lot
Isn't
of
is
effort and sacrifice.
well? That makes me think of, and you're not the widow, but the widow with the two mites. She gave of
Mm-hmm.
her poverty, right?
Right.
So Jesus says she was the most generous person there was, like
Mm-hmm.
in the Gospels, was
Yep.
her, right?
Yep. And growing up, I don't. So I honestly I don't think my parents would ever say we were poor, because I don't think that they would like that word to describe us,
Yeah.
because we were rich with love and one another. But I
Mm-hmm.
think financially, we certainly were not wealthy, upper middle class, anything close to that. And so I
Right.
think even that, growing up in that environment, made me appreciate um, the gifts that were given to me as a kid,
Mm-hmm.
and that I've been able to give growing up.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, I'm connecting with this. Then I took my staff to Disneyland last week.
Yeah.
And I'm kicking around this word. By the way, the word I'm kicking around is not giving, it's generosity or generous.
Mm.
Because I think that has a different connotation that I really like. Um, where it's not an action, it's a identity. I
Sure. Okay.
am, it's an adjective. It's not a verb, it's an adjective. I am generous. Or I want to be, at least.
That's amazing. I was also thinking, what if it was just give?
Yeah, so I was kicking give around, but I don't know, maybe this is wrong. I actually think give can also carry a negative connotation nowadays, where it's like you give
Yeah.
too much, or
Right.
I don't know how I feel
Yep.
about that. And I probably shouldn't
Yeah.
even keep going with that, but
No, I get
it's
it.
really hard to spin generous in a negative light.
Yep. Absolutely.
He's generous. He or she is a generous person.
Mm-hmm.
That is just completely positive.
Yep.
And that's what I'm going for. So I'm
Wow.
kicking around this generous word. And then I
Mm-hmm.
take my staff to Disneyland. This is a long time coming. I think I've mentioned it briefly on the podcast. I've wanted to give them just some insane gift for a long time.
Yeah.
Since the pandemic, they've done a great job. And then we did something together this summer that I thought was impossible, and half jokingly said, if you guys can accomplish this, I'll take you to Disneyland. And then they called me on it. And I was like, okay. So I took them 2 days to Disneyland, all expense paid for them.
Dang.
I did it partially with a donor's money who heard about this trip and gave generously to me to make it happen, and partially with my own money
Mm-hmm.
that I've just been putting away from the
Yeah.
5 or 6 side gigs that I have,
Yeah.
including the Patreon. So ever since I said that, I've been putting money away for this. And because what I wanted it to be is an honest dream come true for me, is to just, anytime anybody asked me, I could say yes.
Hmm.
So we go there the first night. We went to downtown Disney. We went to dinner, and I took them to when you go to Disney, everything's expensive, right? So I took them to a
Yeah. Yeah.
restaurant, and they're all looking at the menu, and they're like, okay, let's pick the cheapest thing because Steven's paying.
Yeah. Like we'll get the chicken. Yeah, I don't know. Like the
Right. The
chicken
grilled
sandwich or
chicken
like
with
yeah.
broccoli or something.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And so
No appetizers, no drinks,
and not
no
because they
dessert.
think I'm stingy, but because they are kind in that way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
okay.
Yep.
And so I said, For the next 3 days, you can have whatever you want.
Yeah.
I have planned this in.
Yep.
And so whatever you want to order, you can order. And they did.
Hmm.
And for the rest of the 2 days, whenever they were like, "Ooh, I like the way that looks," I said, "You should get it. I'll pay for it."
Wow.
I gave and gave and gave. And every time I did, I got happier.
I
And there's
love it.
something that happened to me toward the end. We did California Adventure first, then Disneyland, a park a day, open till midnight, decorated to the nines, dude, with Christmas decorations.
Oh yeah. Uh-huh.
And we're walking toward the gate to leave. And I said, "You guys can go. I'm going back." So they
Mhm.
left, and I went back and just was there until they kicked me out. And
Wow.
I remember this, I wrote this thought down. I wrote, "There has never been a gift of love that I've regretted giving."
Mm.
Um, and it's what I want on my tombstone, that uh that I was not powerful or um smart or famous. It's I want to be kind and I want to be generous. And the way that my dreams, and it happens at Disney, and I know people think Disney's dumb, but I don't. I think it's amazing. I don't think I'm a Disney adult, but I'm a wonder adult. I love wonder, and I'm 7, so I love it when people try to make me feel good. And there's nowhere on earth that is tailor made to make me feel good.
Right.
I am being pleasured for 48 hours straight.
Totally. Plus, they own Star Wars and Marvel,
Oh,
so it's
and
just
you
like,
are immersed in those things
yeah,
over those 2 days. There's Marvel Campus at California Adventure and Galaxy's Edge at Disneyland, and so um I love Disneyland. But what I loved is that I could tell people that I love, "Yes, you can have that, and I'm going to give it to you."
yep.
Amy and Kaz, what we've mentioned before and have gusted on the podcast before, said to me on the drive home, "It's been 3 years when we haven't felt like we've been living in scarcity,
Mm,
that
yeah,
things have been taken from us for 3 years straight." Um, and something spiritual. People think this is probably crazy that it happened at Disneyland. Something spiritually significant happened to them and my team and me, because we weren't losing anymore. We were
yeah.
gaining. We were giving. Um, so that cemented it, and that's why I'm glad you picked green. Phew.
That
Um,
is so good. I
yeah.
was also thinking about how we also talked on about snot and poop on this episode a lot. So I'm like, oh man, I wish we could get rid of that opening.
Well, welcome to the two Gomers. Um, the so my word is generous, or should it be generosity? I don't know. I'm going back and forth between those two. Generosity is the noun, obviously. Generous is the adjective.
I like generous because
Okay.
what we were looking back through our one words and they're almost all verbs.
Right.
I like this idea of transitioning to, even though mine most likely is going to be a verb,
Sure.
unless I go green. But
Go green. I like that.
but I love the idea of a one word being an adjective. I
Yep.
love it.
Okay. Yeah, and it kind of fits how we're aging a little bit, right? That it's not what we do as much as who we are.
Yep.
Um, and so that okay, I'm locking it in. Generous. I will say one more thing about that. Um, I think when I see my life as acts of generosity
Hmm.
instead of obligation, it changes everything. In particular, I think my work, where that can feel rote and obligatory, and I have to do this for the money, and I have to do this for a whole list of things, right? I have to. But to
Yeah.
think instead of that as this is me giving, this is an act of loving generosity of myself, my time, my gifts, my energy, because my love language is gift giving. I don't know if I'm tricking myself into it or what. And I don't actually care if this is just a
Yep.
mind game I'm playing. If I can go into a day and I can say, well, man, I have to have 3 meetings in a row today. I can, but instead I say I'm generous. I'm being generous with my time.
Hmm.
I'm being generous with myself, with my age and experience.
Yep.
I'm being generous with my story,
Hmm.
um, my energy, because it takes a lot of energy. Uh, there's a flip that switched, and so I'm actually getting kind of excited about it right now. That if I could
I love it.
live my 2023 out of generosity instead of obligation, that might truly change me in 2023. So that sounds good to me.
Oh, I love it, dude. I love it. I think it like if you could have an adjective on a tombstone
Uh-huh.
of generous, you know, I mean we just keep getting older,
Mm-hmm.
not staying the same age,
Nope.
and that's a play on quote from Dazed and Confused.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but we keep pressing on the or like discovering these principles of giving away is
Mm-hmm.
better than receiving, like
Mm-hmm.
these kind of like wisdom principles from proverbs and
Right.
from sayings of old
Mm-hmm.
and you know
Yeah.
that that we're almost discovering in real time or something
Yep.
like that, like
Yep.
you went and you actually did it
Mm-hmm.
and you were like dang, like I don't know, the mathematics of it would be like, oh, you're gonna go and bring 6 people to Disneyland
Yeah.
and give thousands of dollars away, you're gonna come away poorer,
Yep.
right?
And
But you came
that
away
is the
richer.
opposite. It is absolutely, I am saying this with like a depth of certainty
Yeah.
that it is the best experience I've had. One of the best
Mm,
experiences I've had in a year of in 3, 4, 5 years of loss. Right. And certainly they got a lot out of it, but the gain that I got is immeasurable.
yep.
Um, and so, and also the thing is that opens me up to receive from
Mm-hmm.
God. I think primarily
Yeah.
him lavishing is a verb I
I
used a
love
lot
it.
for the past 2 or 3 days.
Yeah.
I wanted my staff to feel lavished upon.
Yeah.
Um, and Hannah, one of my staff, said it was like a taste of heaven for her
Yeah.
that
Wow.
to have uh to have somebody say, yes, you love that. I don't get it. You love it. You should buy it. Right.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, and Hannah, one of my staff, Hannah, has never seen a Star Wars movie, I don't think.
Right.
But she spent a lot of time in Galaxy's Edge with Amy and Kaz, who are obsessed,
Yeah.
loving it, celebrating
Wow.
watching somebody else love something. And so
Yep.
there was just like breakthroughs all over the place because we determined to be generous to each other going in. So it's I kept thinking I wish everybody could experience something like this. Not only on the receiving end, but the ability to give. And then I was like, the generous thing was just hitting for me. I got a taste of heaven too. Um,
Yep.
and I want to chase it more. So that'll be my 2023 generous.
I love it, dude. It's incredible. It is but a dim foretaste, right? The hors d'oeuvre, the
Yes.
appetizer. But if that's how good, you know,
Yep.
the hors d'oeuvre is, the little morsel of taste.
Mm-hmm.
You know how much more lavish and generous and generative, right, is
Mm.
our God.
Yeah. I also got to meet Boba Fett and
Oh yeah, yeah.
Mando and
Oh, that video of the of Grogu was
yep,
so
Grogu.
stinking cute. Oh
I
my gosh.
We walked into Galaxy's Edge. There's Chewie and Ray.
Wow.
And I walked up and I asked Ray, could I get a picture with Chewie? And she's like, I can't control him. I can't tell him what to do. You better go ask him. And so Ray and I are walking together behind Chewie talking about their relationship.
That's so cool.
Oh, it was so awesome. So that is also beyond the generosity was an amazing
Yeah.
experience.
Oh, that's so
All right,
cool.
generous. I'm locking it in. I I'm actually really excited about
I freaking
2023
love
and
it, dude.
what it could be if I press into that.
I love it. It does make me think. You can cut this if you want to. It does make me think of Sacred Fire
Mm-hmm.
when Ronald Rolheiser talks about the generativity of God, how his lavish generosity is literally everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Where the like think about how many seeds are just blown into the wind. Like
Mm-hmm.
he's never without. Is
Yep.
it's just so like why is there such beauty everywhere you look where there
Mm-hmm.
doesn't need to be?
Right.
It's just signs of love
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
everywhere.
Yep. And to be a conduit of that is pretty sweet.
Yeah, because you're not gonna run out. I honestly think, dude, like you're not just gonna just like okay, like you remember on Breaking Bad when he's given like $1 million.
Mm-hmm.
What's the kid's name? I can't
Yeah,
remember
yeah.
his name.
Aaron Paul, I can't remember his name, but yeah,
Yeah,
Jesse.
Jesse. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
Jesse. And remember how he just is given that millions of dollars in cash and he just throws it everywhere.
Yeah. Yep.
He's like, I don't want this.
Yep.
Uh, but you're like, so that's a strange thing. But like, you're not gonna run out. I
Mm-mm.
really don't think you're gonna run out if
Mm-mm.
you live that way.
Yeah.
You know what I
And I
mean?
think that I think that aging, I have seen aging have the opposite effect on people.
Mm,
Um, I think folks like my parents have become more generous as they've
hmm
aged, and so I have that model in my life. But there have been a lot of people that I've seen as they age, they get more stingy, which feels
hmm
like an old person word. I don't know. Um, but like they think they're gonna run out
hmm
or they close off more, and I just don't want to be that. So
It's the
I want to
opposite.
open up.
It's the grasping as
Mm-hmm.
opposed to letting go.
Exactly.
And I can remember
Letting
just as
you're
an act
right.
of generosity of my dad is, dude, I remember we went out to lunch after church one time with your family,
Mm.
Grauman's Georgeson's,
Mm-hmm.
like Chapel Valley. I don't know why we were all Chapel Valley.
We might have been leading worship or something, and so
Sure.
they all came to it or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I just remember going out to lunch and my dad went up and paid
Mm-hmm.
and then we left
Mm.
and your dad just being like, "Wow."
Mm-hmm.
You know, like,
Yep.
you know what, dude? We really lucked out in the fact that both our families are generous. My mom is
Yes.
one of the most
Oh
generous
yeah.
giving people I know.
Uh, our first
You
giver
know,
to the two Gomers, right? She bought our shoes,
I know. Like,
and
yeah.
that could be chalked up to she's your mom, but
No, dude,
not everybody's mom would do that.
that's it. That's it.
Not
She's
everybody's mom would say, "Hey, you're
absolutely.
trying this weird thing. I want to
Yeah.
support it and I want to give generously to it." Pretty awesome.
Yeah. We got good family of origin generous genes.
Definitely. Yep.
Let's keep
All
doing
right.
it.
Well, I am curious what your one word is, but until that episode releases, we do want to hear other people's one words. And so I know we probably will have put this poll up already, but the best place to find out how to respond to any of those things is follow us on Instagram. Our link tree is there in our bio with links to all of our social medias and a bunch of other stuff. You could call us on the Gomer phone. That number is
608-622-7669. That's 608 NBA Pony.
don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe or follow on whatever podcast app you're listening to right now. Thank you to the generosity of Davis for our music, Jason and Eric for our graphics, Adam, our webmaster, Annie, our social media guru, and the generosity of our Gomertrons. They are our subscribers to our Patreon. Patreon got what? Patreon. I can never say this right. Patreon.com/2Gomers. That's our second podcast, the bonus disc. Depending on how much you give to keep the lights on here at Gomer Studios West and East, you could get up to 4 bonus episodes per month. That's patreon.com/2Gomers.
Dude, speaking of gift giving, look at this.
Oh man, I can't see. Oh, your gift has arrived at my doorstep. Phew.
Go check your. Oh my gosh, bro. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, FedEx.
That would have been a little awkward if I had just given that whole one word and then you didn't give me a gift at the party that's tonight.
I just thought I'd check the tracking real quick and make sure. Oh, dude. Oh man.
What a relief. Well, great.
You first.
Okay. Well, thanks for hearing me out. Do people like these? It doesn't matter. What I love is that I have 12 years to go back and listen to how I've changed. I don't know, dude. It feels like we're growing up.
Dude, I love it. And I mean, I feel like our words always kind of like we latch onto the other person's word.
Yes, definitely.
100%. Like I'm like,
yep.
Dang it, kind of wish I would have picked that. And I'm going to live that out too. You know what I mean?
I don't know if the nation knows this, but definitely I think we adopt one another's words.
We totally
in our year moving forward.
Yep.
We should call it 2 words.
Yep.
Anyways, great app, bro.
Super fun, man. Great stuff. Loved it. And remember, everybody, if we can come up with 1 words, if we can try to be generous and blank for next week and overcome, you can too.
And happy running.
Fantastic, dude. Let's stop that. 1, 2, 3, stop. Man, sorry, I kind of like tried to like add stuff and put my own thoughts.
No, it was great.
Dumb, so just
no, it was great. Don't forget, it's always better than we think.
Okay, all right. I'm bouncing that real quick. I'm gonna run downstairs, and grab my La Croix, and then we can do Star Wars.
Okay, I'm gonna go pee.
Okay, wait, record this. Just stop recording.
Oh yeah, duh. Bye, everybody.